Hey friends, in this episode we'll focus on how to track the completions that we receive from OpenAI Codex. It's kind of similar to the history that you get when you're interacting with ChatGPT 3. So in our case, we're going to use a provider as our state management. We're going to create a simple file called OpenAI provider.dat. In that file, we're going to create a class called OpenAI provider and extend the change notifier. Then we're going to define internal or private variables inside it. We're just going to create one, which will be a list type of list and will be called history. Then we're going to create a get. This get is one we're going to use outside this class when we want to receive data of what's in the first variable. Next, we're going to create a function with a simple function. This function is the one that's going to be adding completions to the history list. So we pass a completion, then inside the function, this completion is added to the history variable or the history list. And then we pass a notify listener so that our states can be updated, because provider more or less performs two functions. It's a state management, it's used for state management, but it's also a dependency injection, which is really cool. And so in our state, we are more like using it for both. So once we've done that, we're going to head over to our playground screen, and we're going to define a variable that will watch for the provider. And then we're going to use that variable inside the send function, the function that on pressed function for the send button, so that the moment a request has been pushed and we receive a completion from OpenAI Codex, not only do we want to set state or update the text widget that's below the text completion, but we also want to add it to the list, to add it to this list and save it. Great. So then that's what's going to now be displayed in our completion screen. Our completion screen was a screen where we view all our completions that we have received from OpenAI Codex. So now in the completion screen, we're just going to pick the same code that initializes for initializing, and then we're going to import the necessary packages that we need, the OpenAI, the file that we created, and also the provider package itself. Once we've done that, now we'll go inside. Remember, we had set dummy data, or we used the dummy list to represent our dummy completions, but now we're going to replace that with whatever we're going to receive from OpenAI Codex. Since we're going to be creating a form of a history, that history is which will be in form of a list, is what we're going to display on this screen. So we're going to head over to our OpenAI provider file class, and then we're going to add another function. This function will be set history. So we're going to pass a new index, and we're going to pass the item that will be positioned to that new index. It's the same code that we used on the previous one, but now because we're using the provider, it's the provider that's managing the whole state. We're not using the dummy list anymore. So we're just using the same type of code. We insert in the history private variable and set it, and set a notify listener. And now we're going to use the completions dot set history, and give it the new index and the item. So that's what we're going to replace with the bottom code. Now at the top, we're setting the item we're picking the item from the old index. We're also going to create a function for that, where we'll set the function name as remove history, and get the string item. But since we are passing to a variable, that will fail because our function is of type void. So what we're supposed to do in this case, we're supposed to pass a function of type string, and then our arguments or our argument is supposed to be the old index, not the item itself. So we'll do just that. So we'll set it as string and remove the notify listener because we don't need that. We just need to return the history.remove at old index, or to get the item that's in that old index. Great. And then we perform the next function that we've already set. Now we're going to go to the children where we had the dummy list. We're going to pass completion completions.history. So we're getting the list, then we're mapping it within our code. Then lastly, remember we have the delete functionality. We also need to work on that because it's depending on the dummy list, and we're no longer using the dummy list. So we're just going to set that. We pass this item itself, and inside the function we just remove that item from the internal or the private variable history and notify the listeners. Once we've done that, we'll head over to copy that and head over to our completion screen and replace that exactly. So if we try and restart, but before that, we have an important part that we're supposed to add, which is in the main.dat. For all this to work, we need to configure the run up function. So we'll add the change notifier providers. We need to inject it so that it can be used within the app. And then we set the provider that we have, class that we have created. And then we pass the child as my app. Great. So if we try and restart the application again, we'll get beautiful. We'll get the red background. So let's see. We need to restart. We need to restart the whole. Yep. Great. We're back. So let's select our widget. We enter our prompt. Awesome. Send. Wait for OpenAI Codex to return. As you can see, the beta version really is very unpredictable. So that is a wrong code string that we would need. Continue to add, send again and see. So that one is correct. If you view completions, you can see it there. So you see we are actually receiving whatever we are receiving from the OpenAI Codex. That's something else which doesn't look like code string. And if you do it again, and you'll find that now, because of the unpredictable results that we're getting from OpenAI Codex, considering that it's a beta version, it will be difficult to represent the design screen with now the actual completions, because you can see how we're getting different types. Some of them are even comments. So our design screen still represents the dummy list, or represents the code for the dummy list. But let's head over to the next episode where we will discuss further on that.